Right guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pro Series, episode number 18 would you believe it, and I'm with Classic Physique Pro, one of the newest pros in the UK, Brian Turner, at his gym in Tenth, which is a fantastic gym by the way, and thank you very much for having me. So, we just had a total body session, a very novel experience for me. We're both sat here, who knows how the interview's going to go, because we're a little bit fucked to say the least, but I've got questions for him. I want to delve into the mindset, I want to delve into the history, and we're going to start exactly there, mate. So, how did you get into bodybuilding? Let's start, we'll make a little bit of a synopsis, but like what attracted you to the sport and where did it all start?
I'll try and keep it brief. Dad always had like good peaking biceps.
Right.
So I had a role model around there. Dad wasn't like fat, out of shape, lazy. Used to get us doing like pull-ups on the stairs, press-ups. He'd have us standing on his hands. He'd be doing press-ups. So we were exposed to that from young.
Oh, wicked.
He could do like handstand press-ups on the pool rails and stuff.
Yeah.
And
oh wow.
so he was always active. And then I think how can you not get into it? You'd want to fuck around. I remember going into a garage and seeing some weights when I was like 10 and just wanting to lift them. And then around 12, my brother turned 16. He started going gym with my dad. And I was like, fuck, I want to go, but I couldn't. Then I had friends that were older than me. When I was 14, they were 16. They started going gym. Friends were all bigger than me. Girls saying, oh, I wish my legs were skinny like yours. And it's just like everything sort of, it's just like, fuck this. Everything sort of drives you towards it. So I think it would have been harder not to.
So in that environment with
you're exposed
with your dad
to it, and
so involved.
And it's just a natural progression from there, and then you mess around with stuff. You're always doing press ups, and you see a bar, you play around with it, you see if you beat your mate, and but I was never really got into it properly till 16. I started doing some more bits at home. It was always like BMX, climbing trees, doing backflips, climbing the buildings and shit. So I was always fucking around. No, I'll swear on this.
Yeah, of course, mate.
I'm pretty trash, so my vocabulary might be a bit
we're all
crap,
good.
and I might just curse my way through it. But
that's fine. Sam will clip it up, so we'll just be a montage of you swearing.
That sounds entertaining. Then I think 18. I hadn't seen my brother for about a year, and suddenly he got big, and I was like, "Fuck this!"
Suddenly got leveled up,
and then he got me a job as a lifeguard. Said do this PT course, which wasn't great, but it teaches you anatomy. It gets you. It showed me that and my driving lesson showed me that because I was never really interested in school, but I scraped by with common sense. And then you sort of like, you apply yourself to something, you're like, if I put effort in here, I can actually get
a return.
Return from it. Very early on, had a good sort of, some good influences around me. The gym manager was pretty, just little things like less is more, and stop your dumbbell flies here because it loses, little things that you wouldn't really expect from your gym manager when you get a job as a lifeguard in Virgin Active. That enabled me to really focus on that, and then from there it was just it was that.
And then in terms of the bodybuilding side of things, obviously you're training, you're enjoying that, you're learning. When was your first show?
So I was exposed to the guys around me were competing from day one. It was always and bodybuilding.com was the place. So you got a profile on there, and you're tracking your measurements and your pictures and stuff, and Steve Cook he wasn't doing bodybuilding obviously, but he looked ace, and he was the bodybuilding spokesmodel that year. And one of the lads said to me, "I'll find someone that is sort of similar structure, same height, and shoot for that." And like I said, some good influences around me, and I showed him Steve Cook, and he's like, "You can do better than that," And it was like, "Oh, cool." Well, he's 200 pounds, same height. I was 19, 18, and I was like, by 23, last year as a junior, maybe 200 pound on stage. So 23, junior, 200 pound on stage.
So was that the first time?
That was the first time.
And what show was that?
That was the East of England UKBFF.
Okay, cool.
Obviously juniors. Got a British invite, came third in my class. A class out of 4, so I lost.
At the first show or the finals?
First show. I didn't go finals.
Okay.
Aziz the Beast was
Right,
won the year before, and he was there again.
Okay.
I bumped into Rob Taylor in Five Guys because his brother Matthew competed at the same show that year. We were tanning at the same time, and he saw me in Five Guys, and he's like, "Oh, you look good. You just need someone to," because I just prepped myself for that. And he was like, he basically just offering me some help, trying to get a client essentially. It was appreciated anyway, kind words, and I was just like straight up like, yeah, it's very kind, but I know who you're prepping for that show, and I ain't going to that.
I'm not there.
There's no point for, like, it's not fun for me. I came third at that. My condition was good, but the other lads had more experience, way more stage presence. I was like kind of out of body at that show, like watching myself, a little bit nervous.
Kind of fumbling around a bit.
No, actually, scared of falling over, but like I thought I'd have a wobble, but I've never seemed to have that problem.
Okay.
Posing was good. I got told not to hit certain poses, but I was like really inspired by classic, like golden era type stuff. So I was like hitting Arnold side chests and stuff. UK BFF apparently didn't like that much. They wanted you to do textbook, red trunks and all that sort of stuff. So that was the first show. And then after that, got coached by Jordan Peters for a while. Because I was eating like 5,000 calories, maintaining weight, active job as a carpenter. And I thought, fucking hell, have I got worms or something? I was actually scared to eat more because I thought, is this normal? Like, I didn't know anyone else that was having to push food that much. And he showed me, and almost like, we ran food up to like 8,000 calories, running like an upper-lower split, 4 days a week, so less training, lower volume, higher food, and pushed me to a new body weight, a new peak strength, and that really taught me like what I needed to sort of grow. From that, I started. So there's been a big gap between then and now. Obviously, almost 12 years.
So did you not compete?
No, not till last year.
So this is what I only know you from fairly recently.
Yeah.
So when you just mentioned that junior show, I was like, shit, maybe like I've just been massively under the radar.
2016, I think.
Yeah. So you did that, and then you just went back to working. With the intention of competing again, or?
So I really never thought it would happen. I'd be on a roof with my dad and stuff, and he'd be like, one day you're gonna have to think about something other than chicken and rice, and which is true, like, man, you got to, like,
at some point.
Like I said earlier, stop living like Peter Pan and prioritize something. And I thought, okay. Because I'd be like, we were on a roof and we got a job to do, and I'm like, it's time to eat, and it's like, you got to wrap the whole job up so I can go eat my chicken breast. And but I ended up transitioning into building skateboard ramps. So I used to skate, and I got back into skating a little bit, which is tricky at peak body weight.
It's a big dude on
got
skates.
back into that and stopped working with my dad as we do general joinery, carpentry, and oak framing. And I took those skills, didn't do college or anything, but took those skills that I'd learned, and I started building skateboard ramps, and that really took off. On Instagram, doing like events and post shipping throughout Europe and worldwide, and going to France and building mini ramps and all sorts. Did really well on TikTok. I just kept reinvesting money into it. Slept at the unit there so I could reinvest as much as I could. I had about 8 lads working for me. Deprioritized training. Back down to 13 stone. Peak was about 16 at that point. Legs held, actually. We were speaking about that earlier. Maybe from the skating, or because I'd built dense muscle there from good solid training.
Not doing anything, it held.
I looked a bit weird because the top half got really small, the legs stayed big. Yeah, pretty it was. And then from there, that started to wear me thin a little bit. I grew it too quick. And it fucked my head.
So you were just all in on the business.
I wasn't ready to manage 8 people. I could barely fucking look after my own shit. Obviously I could nail down a bodybuilding routine, but to manage 3 people, to 8 people, was a bit mad. and I couldn't seem to turn the orders off.
Right.
So it started to take a turn,
yeah.
a bit off more than I could chew. Didn't have the right team around me to take that off me.
Right.
I needed to hire someone better rather than people to train up, essentially. So I could leave them to it, and they could show me, oh, what the fuck are you doing this for, man? Like, you need to step this up. But anyway, going off track. Then lockdown kind of stuff went down. The business peaked through that because everyone was locked away.
Right.
We had a choice: lock yourself in your house, or I lived in the unit at the time, and I just worked 8-hour days all the way through. I don't even know how long that lockdown was. I didn't really partake in it, to be honest. And through that time, I was traveling all around the UK building skate ramps.
Right.
Everyone was locked up in the house, so they wanted skate ramps so they could skate. Did very well during that time. Then by the end of it, just completely burnt out, wanted to get back into training. I'd given so much to that and taken away from what I really loved. So then finally allowed myself to take a little bit from that business. This place was actually originally a storeroom. So I had a big warehouse, big CNC, forklift, team there, loads of joinery benches, knocking out these orders, but didn't have room for stock. Right. So this was a stock room originally. Okay. We were training in a container, me and a few friends, in a container with like a 1-inch barbell and a plate-loaded Argos pull down and shit like that. And I got this place, and then I dropped on the line leg press and a cable stack, and we started training there, just like doing like makeshift kind of shit on a cable. And then certain exercises like, oh, leg curls are a bit of a faff on this, let's find a leg curl. Oh, pull downs, I'm scared of snapping this shit now with the gym pin. This cable's gonna go, it's getting unstable, I need a pull down, I need a row. And I accidentally ended up with a gym. And then you kind of down here and it's quiet, and I should probably let people use this, it's a bit wasted. So then sort of opened it up a few years later. It was boarded up originally because obviously didn't want the council to sort of know and come and close us down and stuff. It soon was like, get these ramps out of here, I'm building my gym, and energy was taken from the business, and I sold the assets, closed it down. And just started, I got put on TikTok. A lad I know called Kale sort of posted me on there. TikTok grew pretty quick, started doing programs, started helping people. Obviously, you start training, you're excited, you help people. So I always help people with stuff, but started helping, like people just started asking about coaching naturally. So I started coaching a bit, selling programs, making t-shirts and stuff, just putting my thoughts down on t-shirts, and that was bringing me personally more take home than the ramp business, even though the ramp business was doing like 10 times the income. This was all profit, pretty much all profit. It didn't have a team, didn't have a big warehouse, didn't have like cost of
overheads,
like the materials and stuff to the same extent. So it was like, that business isn't an opportunity for me anymore. It's holding me back, it's pulling my energy. So I closed it, which was a big move because it felt like failure. But it was like, but I was self-aware enough to know that like I'm done there. I'm done there. I'm closing that, and I miss it sometimes. But doing that sort of work, because coaching's a bit different. You've not got full control over the outcome.
Right.
If I'm building something, I've got control over what the outcome is. Whereas coaching someone's really fun. If you can control everything, which sounds maybe a bit like controlling, but
that's the whole, like,
it's why they're there.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
See, that's really interesting because obviously we trained together, and one thing that struck me throughout that session was like you are like passionate about training.
No, I just love it.
Everything you spoke about, just the Dante references, the Pekulski references, the analysing movements, the critiquing your own form, getting anxious about numbers, like all of that. So to hear that there's been a whole effective like another life.
About 5 years.
Like
away from
another life that you've obviously done like a lot. And like, again, this is, I suppose you could take offence to this, but like, you don't strike me on the surface as someone who is an entrepreneur to the degree you are, just because you're so fucking chilled. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if I am.
Mate, I'm pretty sure you are. Like, to be able to.
The funny thing is though, there might be now a limiting belief from the back of how hard that business was. So now I might believe that entrepreneurship is hard or has to be hard when it doesn't. But that business is very much natural. It was like, I want a skate ramp. No one does it here. I'm going to build one.
But that's exactly what I think.
And then it took off. And then it was the same with this. I want a gym. And then.
But I think that's what entrepreneurship is. It's you know, seeing something that either you want or you kind of can see a market, and actually actioning it. So many people like say, oh, you know, what's their passion? X. Do they do anything towards that? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Whereas like obviously you did that, like got you to a place, you got here, you built it. And yeah, I mean, it's a very cool facility, and it gives you everything you need to. And
it's a great place, not on the point of it gives me everything I need to, with getting potentially greedy and pushing the last business further than maybe I should have at the rate that I did.
Yeah.
And the trade-off of like time and energy and mental health and whatever else, and falling away from training with, like I'm a little bit, I don't want to say lazy, but I'm selective of where I put my energy. I'm not like, for this period of my life, I'm very much
a bit more selfish.
And I feel lazy saying it a little bit, but it's like we were speaking about, I'm going to give myself till I'm 35, and if I'm a good pro at 35, which I'm sure I can be, then I'll carry on. And if not, there's delusion, and I won't invest this into it. Because looking back at 35, 40, knowing that I've done everything I could, I can then focus more on entrepreneurship business. Whereas looking back at 40 and not giving bodybuilding everything I can do business at any age.
Exactly.
But I'm limited on this, which feels lazy a little bit, but it's like, that's where my energy's taking me, so I'm just gonna...
I mean, listen, like, from everything you said, you're not a lazy man, you're certainly not a lazy bodybuilder. You've got a good, like you said, that mindset of, you know, first of all, you've built a platform where you can prioritize yourself, and you're good enough to make that investment worthwhile. I mean, I think how many guys out there are like slogging their guts out, you know, literally killing themselves for bodybuilding, and no offense guys, look like a sack of shit. You know, you've achieved a lot, you know, realistically. So just to get back to the bodybuilding, I'm still trying to get my head around it. So you took literally 12 years or so away from the stage.
Let's see how long it'd be. So I started training
2016.
18, which is 2 years after I finished school. 2012 started training. Pretty sure first year was 4 years after that. First 3 years natural. Because we said I'd do 3 years natural, compete as a junior at 23, 2016 I think. And then there was 2018, I think I got coached by Jordan, like about a year after soon after my show for about a year. That took me up to just about 2018, 2017. I think it was like 4 years I did the ramp business.
Okay.
I still trained a bit. Like my leg press didn't drop at all because I was stubborn with that lift.
I've seen the love you've got for the leg intensity.
I used to do the hammer strength leg press, and I used to do 9 plates side on there, and I just wouldn't let that drop. I was attached to that one. And my deadlift was holding, but it was few and far between. But sorry, I've lost train of thought there.
No, just in terms of like
the gap. Then it was just like you just said, there's bodybuilders, and no shade on anyone at all, and I'm not talking about other people, just in general. I wouldn't, I spoke to Jack Richardson about this a few weeks ago actually when I went to see him. I wouldn't enjoy this if I wasn't good at it.
Right.
There's no enjoyment there for me. I didn't do the British after the juniors because I know I wouldn't do well.
Right.
There's no fun there for me. Not that, oh yeah, I want to win.
So then what brought you back? So was it this year? Was this the first year back?
It was last year. Last year, 2000, I don't even know what fucking year it is, I'm not gonna lie.
25, you won your pro card this year?
Yeah, this year. And 24, I did one show.
Okay. And was that in Classic?
No, I was like 500 gram over, but they let me do heavies.
Right.
But I was
not a lot of help.
But I was happy with that because part of me didn't want to do Classic. I don't know why. Obviously, first juniors show as a bodybuilder. Classic physique wasn't a thing. I like 90s bodybuilding look now more so than even the golden era I used to be inspired by. So for me, I was kind of like, okay, a redirection.
Yeah.
That I didn't.
It's a sign.
Plus the guys that would compete in that year, I didn't want to stand next to in Classic, to be completely honest. I hadn't given my best to that prep.
Right.
So I was always going to get back on stage. From very early training, it was I'm going to compete. I'm going to get a pro card.
Yeah. Okay.
Not that the pro card was the thing that I was chasing, but it was like, well, why would I do a show that isn't affiliated with the IFBB?
Yeah.
So it was UKBFF.
That's like the old.
And then it was that. Well, I didn't see the point otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just
Obviously, like, you had a understanding that you could be good, and you had a belief as well. I think
maybe more naively at 18, just because like I started progressing quick, and people were like, "What are you doing?" And they've been training way longer than me. And me and my brother, we got good sort of shape, and we were responding well, and we would be in conversations of like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go. We will be pro. It's not like when. It's not if, it's when." But then more recently, looking back, I didn't realise how consistent or how much more I might have to give to that. Like back then, it was almost like complacent.
Yeah, like if you just do it
a little bit because like
long enough, then it'll happen.
Maybe you're a little bit, and I don't think I'm the most genetically gifted person, but I've got a decent structure
compared to others.
And especially like in your general gym, where people aren't committing to anything. But back then, looking back, it was maybe naive.
Youthful naivety.
Yeah, and then more recently, it's like, oh, okay, I actually need to more so like the mental side of things. Like
it's the whole like you've got to act like a pro before you are a pro. You've got to live like a pro to be a pro. There's very few people who can sort of fluke that.
And then not really putting the sole focus on that.
Like
I've had conversations with people that are kind of like, oh, I want to get a pro card, I'll retire. And it's like, well, retire? Like, what do you think you might want to string a week of diet and training to go first? Like, genuinely, they're not even bodybuilding. Again, not throwing shade, but just to be real. Then you've also got someone like myself that at 18 thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and Jordan spoke some confidence into me when I was prepped by him last, because to get back on the timeline of things after the ramps, Jordan was closing down his coaching, and I messaged him and said, I know you're closing down your coaching, but do you think I can come back on? My business is in an okay place. This was before I decided to close it, about a year before, and sort of got back on. And then about 7 months after that, it was again, this money that I'm investing here could do with going into the gym, so I'm going to pull back. But he, when we first reconnected there, he was like, so you've been natural for a while, obviously. I agree, we can get, we can push food. I was really in the mindset of when I get back to it, I want to make sure I can make progress without first going back on stuff. I need to make sure that I'm like, I can progress lifts, I can stick to my diet, I can make progress, and now let's layer that in. So he agreed that was a good idea. And then it would like drop little things like, but realistically, pros at the O aren't. So it was like, oh, okay, you see that. So that sort of helps to sorry, I've gone off track again now. Build a level of confidence there. But I think we were talking about the not sort of focusing on the outcome so much. Like even myself, I might be like, oh, I'm gonna go pro. Oh, this person said I could do it, and I believe I can do it. It's like, yeah, but really look at what you're fucking actually doing in day to day, man. Like you're self-sabotaging yourself in like 10 different fucking ways. Sort your shit out. Which I'll be completely honest, my preps, especially this year, wasn't a planned prep. It was more like, come on, man. I think you're letting yourself down here. Do you not want to see that? Do you really want it to be? I can get away with 50% on this and this, or do you want it to be like, well, I wonder what would happen if I really
and then stepping on
gave
stage,
this
knowing
everything,
you gave everything,
and then the result in that is the best you've ever looked, and then the result in that is I wasn't actually focused on the pro card.
I was going to ask about that,
because it was just like I was kind of fed up with like how I was being.
Okay.
It was like pissed off with myself with certain aspects of like how I'm acting or the things I'm doing, or it's like, oh, you say this, but you're not fucking really doing it. Like
with action.
So it's kind of like just checking myself and going, right, sort your fucking self out. And then I'm like, okay, I'm in pretty fucking good shape now. I've sorted myself out. I much prefer this version of me. There's a show in 4 weeks, I'm gonna go fucking do it.
Right.
And then did that, and then that was my first classic show.
Yeah, and obviously, like you said, in 24 you didn't make classic, and you weren't gutted about that. Were you pretty sure that classic was your direction, kind of this year?
So I finished that show, and I was like, I was working with Joe Jeffrey for that show. I didn't do him justice at all.
Right.
That's being a knob. Just personal shit.
Yeah.
Let it get the better of me. Weak. Again, just checking myself.
Right.
But yeah, didn't do myself or him proud for that one at all.
Did you win it?
Second.
Okay.
I should have won.
Right.
I really should have won.
Okay.
That's not me saying I should have won that show.
Yeah.
If I applied myself,
right,
I should have won.
Yeah.
My structure should have carried me.
Yeah.
But my actions didn't.
That's good to hear, like acknowledging that.
So the other guy was more conditioned, and that wins the amateur shows.
It worked it,
So, whereas that's what this year was about. It was like, okay, I'm actually gonna
knuckle down.
Let my actions reflect my wants here, and I'm gonna.
So between that show and then the pro qualifier, how long was that gap?
Just over a year. Also,
sorry, the regional this year.
So that year, I didn't step back on stage.
Yeah.
The year with Joe, 24, because it was like.
Okay, so that was the year with Joe, right? And then we come to this year.
And then this year, it was. I think there was 2 weeks between the shows.
Okay.
So that was the question, wasn't it?
Yeah. And at the regional, did you win everything, the overall there as well?
Yeah. I was very nervous.
Right.
But like I met myself there, which was interesting. It's funny, like you said a minute ago, like you seem quite chill. Yeah. I'm actually quite like you see the energy I bring in my training. Yeah. That's how my brain feels. Okay.
I think what I mean by chill, when I say chill, I mean you're quite level, I suppose. But at the same time, like I said, having spoken to you on the gym floor, there's a lot going on in there.
Yeah, I'm sort of like, I'm analysing everything, and I get very locked in.
You're almost quiet because of that.
And like, you see, like, before my sets, I'll kind of take a moment.
Yeah.
So pre-stage, I found that same energy.
Okay.
For the first time.
Yeah.
And it was, I didn't have anyone at the show apart from Tom, who started helping me a few weeks out from the regional. Because I was...
Keep your head on,
like you said before. I was thinking about how much food weighs, and how much water it draws in while I'm asleep at night, and waking up and going, yeah, that's what I'll do. And it's just like, fuck this. Yeah. So I reached out to Tom, and I was like, yeah, I need some fucking help here, please.
I need to switch off.
And he did fantastic with me. And and I managed to do him justice this year. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't do Joe any justice the year before, which is a shame. Sorry, I am fucked. What was the question?
No, that's all right. So it's just like looking at that kind of regional and then moving into the pro qualifier. I suppose I want to know as well your mindset. You mentioned kind of that the pro card hadn't really been too much on the horizon. From that regional, was that then a more tangible thing that you were?
It's very interesting.
Did you believe it was going to happen? Did you believe you were capable?
Because I know for me, I never believed. It was back and forth.
Okay.
Of like, I don't know how to say this without sounding a certain way. certain conversations with people. So I was like very, as I was saying, I found a level of focus backstage, and that was the question: how did I win that show? The regional. I'd never won a show.
Okay.
I'd done a third place as a junior, a second place, and I never brought a package that I was like, yeah, I did everything.
Regardless of
I
the
still
placing.
didn't this year because I was being a cunt till 6 weeks out, and I was like, come on, man. Because it wasn't even a prep till then. So I was like, come on, let's see what you can actually fucking do. But then I like locked in backstage, and there's a few good lads there that were like, and I met Mark Hector there as well, and he was like, just chill. But I was like locked in, like I'm about to do a set. I'm like, fuck, I'm pumping up, and I'm like a bit intense, and but I liked it. It felt good for me, and I got a couple lads around me being really kind, going, hey, you look fucking on it, like you look sick. I remember Sam O'Keefe, I think his name was, came off stage the class before me, I think, and he'd won, and he goes, I'll see you in the overall. And I was like, well, I've got to win my first class. I've got to get my first class win first, mate. And he's like, okay. He obviously saw something I didn't there. And then it's weird, like I'm on stage, I'm not even thinking about it.
Okay.
I'm locked in, and I'm like, I've got a job to do, but I'm like, I'm not thinking I'm gonna win, I've got to win. I'm just kind of like, right, here it is. Apart from my front relaxed, I can't stand in that shot yet and go, here it is. That's my goal for the next season, is not to be nervous or sheepish in that pose and be able to go, there it is. But yeah, he said that, and I was like, well, I got to win my. So then, I won my class, and again, it was like, okay, I'm in the overall now, and I was locked in, but it wasn't like, I've got to win it. Almost like neutral.
I suppose there's probably an element of like pressure's off because you have already won. You've already done better than you ever have in terms of placing.
If I didn't win the overall, I wouldn't have classed it as a win.
Okay.
It would have been, okay, I won my first thing, but what does it count for? And that's not to take away from anything else, it's just the way I win if I didn't win the show. Just the way my brain works. Again, not to take anything away from anyone that wins it.
It's personal standard, isn't it? Like you say, it's like that was, whether you were conscious of it or not, that was your standard of success.
So I got the overall, and honestly, I get comments and stuff like, "Why aren't you smiling, man?" I'm like, I don't know, because I was just neutral. I appreciated the moment, and it was like, it wasn't like, fuck, I won my first overall, or fuck, I lost. It was just like, okay, now there's a pro qualifier to do. But it wasn't like, now there's a pro card to chase. It was, now there's a pro. The pro card was the goal, of course, but it was like almost out of mind. It was like, now it's time to be better. It was like they asked you to say a few words, and it was like, it was always in relation to the song I posed to. Was like, I did like a two-part thing where it was, I think Whitney Houston, One Moment in Time. Being like more than you thought you could be, and seizing that moment in time, and being present, and just being more than you thought you could be. So it was like when I get asked about like, are you going to go to the pro qual in 2 weeks? It's like, I'm excited. Not like, I'm going to go win. It was like, I'm really excited to see who I am by that point. Because I really liked who I've become the last 4 weeks leading up to this. So that it became more about that, and it was a really. I don't want to sound like a little bit fruity, but like a bit spiritual almost. Like the song I was posing to, it was like self-discovery.
I think like bodybuilding, when you apply yourself like you hadn't for so long, and then you did, like that that level of self-respect that you then put upon yourself, it is a kind of very empowering, and like I certainly like, and obviously bodybuilding is art, combining that with the routine, like it does all tie into something that is more than, and a lot of people won't really understand, but I definitely get that.
I mean You reminded me of like a caption that I wrote on Instagram like a few weeks. I think it might have been between those shows,
Right.
and it was like self-respect is either earned or lost through your daily actions. And these are like if I were to look back and read those captions, it was like you can see the discoveries I was learning about myself and the process through that time by documenting my thoughts down on there in the morning. And that's really what it was all about. It was like, I don't like who the fuck I am right now. Fuck this guy.
But again, when you, like, obviously you made it more than just about bodybuilding. Like, you acknowledged that I've sort of, half-arsed it to an extent.
That's what bodybuilding's always been for me, though. It's like that leg press, that last set, when you're like, I could stop, or this is hard.
That self-talk and being able to talk yourself into things.
It's just like reframing things, and sooner or later, it becomes harder not to take that rep to failure because it's who you are. And you're just not talking yourself out of shit. And
I definitely got that kind of throughout the session. Like you said right at the end there, there were a couple of occasions where you wanted to say, "Oh fuck, I'm tired," but you talk, and it's so true. Like, and if anything, in that session, I can actually go the other way, because as soon as I picked up that T-bar row, the first thing I thought was, "Fuck, this is heavy."
And I just said, "It's like."
And sure enough, if fucking I ball bail on the set.
I had a brief moment in that set. I was like, "Fuck."
Straight away, kick it out.
And it was a bit too heavy, but like Jay Cutler said, earlier, you can't let the weight know you're scared. That's why when you pick up the weights, even if the first one looks heavy, I'm like, that was light, that moved easy.
Lightweight. Right, so fast forwarding then to like winning your pro card.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned being quite neutral. How did that then feel?
I didn't feel anything.
Really?
Fucking strange.
Okay. Did you feel anything in like the days, the weeks after you kind of acknowledge what you had achieved? Because I mean, for me, like, a pro card was out of reach for decade plus for me, and then when I finally got it, there was like, I can remember that very distinctly. There's a lot of emotion.
Yeah. So I don't know that I got awarded it, and obviously it was like, oh shit, okay.
Casual as you like.
And they were like, smile. Oh, hit a and Tyler Manning was there, which is cool, the judge, and he was like, hit a front double with a smile with a card, and I was like, he made me grin then, so he got a proper smile. It's rare that I smile unless someone, which I like unless it's like a genuinely made me smile.
Meaningful smile, like, just doing it for the sake of it.
I'm not like, fucking just smile.
You can tell.
So, and one of the guys was like, your ball's hanging out, and I was like, and they made me smile. He snapped a photo while I was smiling afterwards with the card, and I can't really. There was not really.
There wasn't
anything that can be like.
And do you think like that it didn't? I'm not going to say it didn't mean much, because obviously it will have meant a lot because you thought about it from when you were 18. But do you think almost the journey of, like you said, self-discovery that you've been on had kind of, that was the more potent part of
if I were
to
to sum up getting that pro card, it would be more, okay, now you stop being a knob,
right?
You actually saw what you can do, and that's been recognised. You showed up as the guy you actually respect. They respected that enough to go, we recognise this.
And now you build on that.
And then a few days, then after that, it's just what's next. Just because that's the way my
I mean, all the way through my career, although I have moments of elation and kind of, give myself a little pat on the back, 9 times out of 10, you're straight into what is next, which ties in very well to what is next. Obviously, you won your pro card at how much? What was your body weight?
Lowest was 211.
Okay.
Stage weight was, with the regional, 223. 218, 219 at the card. At the card, I think.
And you can be in the pro leagues up to
234, 5, I think.
Okay.
So a good 24-ish pounds up from my lowest, but the lowest I could, like, if in like 5 years I had to make weight, suck down probably another 5 maybe 10. I've never had to do that, so I don't know, but I'm sure you could. So like 20, maybe 30 pound I could put on.
So you're now in off season?
Yeah.
Yeah. Full off season?
Um,
Drugs at play? Or cruising?
well,
Or between?
let me go to what's next.
Okay.
What's next is just the same as how I got that pro card is.
Right.
Am I being a cunt right now?
Okay.
Yeah, you are, mate. Like, let's sort that out before we think about an outcome.
Okay.
Let's like sort this character flaw out, or this thing that you're not actioning, or this. So 3 weeks post show, I was perfect.
Okay.
And then 4th week, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get massive. And I did like it's a weird one for me. Like that was the most controlled I'd been post show. And without acknowledging this, you can't acknowledge that you could be better.
Yeah.
So I could sit here and go, yeah, nail post show, and I mean peak off season, and it's going really well, and just cover all that up. But no, I ate like a cunt.
Right.
And I was like, peak body weight, leverage against the weight, and new body weight, new lift PBs, and convincing myself.
You're so performance orientated, you almost kind of neglected the other areas of
But
what being a
it's
bodybuilder
very
is.
hard for me to get fat. I can get watery, but like 2 weeks later, I can pull it off. So there is a side of me that I am the kind of person that could warrant a bit more of an aggressive, like chase scale weight, drive that peak performance. But you get to peak performance and then it slips because you got too far, as you probably know yourself from experience, and you can't walk and you're out of breath. And well, I should probably pull this back a touch. So that took me to, I was up to 272.
Okay.
We were very steady to 3 weeks out, and then I went AWOL a little bit. But for me, it's untrained in certain things. So for me, like I said, Jordan, when I went to Jordan, 5,000 calories, we bumped up to 8,000 by the end of that push-up. And I was still like 230, a little bit soft, but not soft.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
soft, but not fat.
Yeah.
Still visible abs, but a little bit of a deeper belly button, a little bit love handle, but definitely not fat. So there's kind of like, there's like a decade of programming force feeding.
Yeah.
And then it almost like, the way I've gone about bodybuilding over the years has been, and being your weight and height, you probably understand. I'm assuming you have quite a fast metabolism.
I can
push
eat a
through
lot.
pretty high. Yeah. So I'm sure there'll be people that can relate with this. It's been more of like a perma bulk with appetite resets.
Okay.
The appetite resets like tidy you up enough to push again, and you never have to practice dieting. I've done.
Yeah, you don't need.
I've done one diet after a year of training first time, 6 weeks. I've done my first prep, 2016. I've done my second prep, which started at 6 weeks out, 6 week diet, 2024, and this one that started 6 weeks out. I've done, how many is that? Four diets in 12 to 13 years of training, because I haven't had to, but I've always had to force feed. So what I sort of, and this, I understand that this is also sounds like an excuse as well, but it's an acknowledgement that, okay, that's something I need to really fucking work past, because for me to be better, I need to nail that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like my body and my mind is programmed and used to going, eat as much as you can. I have like, I call them all-you-can-eat phases. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I'll hit the buffet and I'll have a structure, but I'll have like 1 or 2 off plans a day.
Okay.
And stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like if I scroll through my camera reel and check out all my strongest lifts, they're surrounded by those meals.
Right.
So it's like that reinforces it. It's
hard,
like, oh, I was strong then. And all my peak training was around that, and then you do a tidy up, but it's an appetite reset. Hunger's back, and it's oh, well, look, all you can eat again.
Right.
So I've almost trained like binge restrict.
Okay.
So it's like eat till you can't fucking eat.
Yeah,
pull back because you feel like you need
back.
to, and then it's time to eat again while your appetite's there.
Yeah.
But that worked for me.
Yeah.
But to be better and to be the best moving forward, it would be easy for me to sit here and go, oh, I'm going to go and win this show and get to the Olympia. It's obviously the goal.
Yeah.
But the goal before that needs to be being the best I can be.
Yeah. Being a lot more.
Not that the time off it might be productive.
Yeah.
Because I get to switch off for a bit and I get to come back ready. It takes me a few weeks to pull everything back off.
Yeah.
Like I can pull 30 pounds off in 2 weeks and be like, okay, I'm pretty fucking lean. That was a lot of fluid I was carrying.
Yeah.
Not very healthy.
Yeah.
So it's not good. But then every time I reflect on that, I get a bit better. And so long story short, it's just like the goal from now is just to just be better, the same as the goal was from the very start, really.
And then, have you given any thought to pro debuts, the year even? Or...
Yeah, so we were going to go do one straight after.
Okay.
Because the plan was like, the plan was to do, I can't remember where it was now. The plan was to go to somewhere in Europe, I can't remember which one it was. 3 weeks after, I think, to do another pro qual.
Okay. Oh right. Okay. Yeah.
But there was also a classic pro show there.
Show that one. Yeah.
So it was like almost copped out a little bit the morning of the pro qual, and I was like, so when's the next regional?
Right.
Oh, it's here. So if I don't get as much as I wasn't focused on the pro card, there was like an internal battle of like, am I good enough for this? Or and I focus on it, and I'm like coming back to like just go and fucking do what you can.
Follow the process.
And I was kind of like, right, I'm gonna go and do this. If I don't win this, I'll go do this regional. And then it was like, no, actually, I know I've contradicted myself there, because I realised the morning of that pro call that I had to show up with an energy that believed I was worthy of that card. As much as that wasn't like wasn't like gunning it down through the prep, walking every morning going, I'm winning this card. It was just like like I wanted to be better.
Yeah.
But I had to not cop out mentally and go, oh, the next regional's here. If I don't get this one, I'll give that a bash. So it was like, no, I'm going to this one as a fucking pro.
Yeah.
Just to get in that, and it's the same energy I'd have before a set where I'm like, I'm fucking on.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this. More so for stage presence, because that's what I lacked when I was the years before. And I managed to find that, which was nice. Then it was like, okay, well, I'm going to go do a pro qual when I got the pro card. I'm going to go do that same one like I said, to myself. And I was like, but I'm 20 pounds under cap. Yeah. And while that's not everything, I don't want to, I didn't want to go and like see myself. I didn't want to spend a year looking at pictures of me 20 pound lighter than these guys. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather like only see a comparison when I'm competitive to not head fuck myself for a year straight. Yeah. It could go two ways. It could make you hungry for it, or you could like talk yourself out of
get
it.
in your head for the future,
So I was like, and it's money. Like I had to pay for the pro. I just paid for my amateur season, whatever thing. I had to pay for flights, Airbnb, tan, fucking the pro card for the year, all that shit. What am I actually gaining from that? So I just thought, okay, I'm just going to come away and focus on growing for next year. And
so is that the goal then? Something in 26?
So this was a question I get before, as an amateur as well, before this year's season. When you're going to compete? It's just when it's ready.
Okay.
When I look in the mirror and I'm like, yeah. So going back to when I'm not sheepish in the front relaxed, ideally. That's the first shot. I need to be able to draw attention with that shot. And right now it sucks. Like shit. I don't like it at all. I can't stand confidently in it.
Is that anything to do with, like, I know for me, like, I never even used to like really pose off season because I just hated the way I looked.
Yeah. So I've looked at a lot of different variations.
Like at what point, I suppose, do you, as you're pushing up, getting bigger, getting stronger, at what point do you then look and, you know, like I said, there's always going to be a little bit of extra softness, so it can be sometimes harder to see how that would legitimately look.
Oh yeah, so it'll be the same way the last two preps came about, really. It's like, okay, it's time to tidy up.
Right.
And then you get to a certain point of the tidy up where it'd be unproductive to go further unless it's a prep. And then it's like, is this a prep? Am I standing there in that front relaxed and going, yeah. And if I'm not, then no. Because I'm not excited about it otherwise. It's just like, oh yeah, I'll go give it a go, and I don't want that. I want it to be like, yeah, I want to stand there and go, there's my front relaxed.
It's really interesting talking to you because you've got quite a different approach to a lot of the guys I've spoken to, and probably to myself as well, in terms of it's a very organic process for you. You're not kind of setting timelines per se, and across everything all the way through, life took you away from bodybuilding, you came back to it, you kind of did it at your own pace, you appreciate you weren't giving yourself the best, you improved, you got the card. I mean, realistically, in terms of the word kind of potential, and I suppose how much you've invested into it, for me, I could be quite frustrated with you because
I can understand that, because that was my first ever pro qual.
Yeah, I started at 2010 was my first show, and while the pro qual was not anything to be even considered, I can hand on heart say that from that point, pretty much all the way through my career, I only missed food if I was ill.
Yeah.
I had X amount of kind of downtime.
Yeah.
Whereas it sounds like for you, you've only really kind of locked into
me,
that.
There's never food missed.
Yeah. Okay.
In terms of growing.
Yeah.
I don't miss a beat. There's not a meal. There's not.
So when you say that,
not miss maybe there's always something you can improve on, sleep and stress management, stuff like that. But as far as trying to progress my lifts go, I'm pretty obsessed with it, and if I don't control the other shit, I'm not gonna have a good time, and then I don't have a good life. Yeah. But it's more when it comes to dieting. I'm inexperienced.
Okay.
So I just know that reflecting back, it's you could have done better there, man. Or maybe you've sought out comfort in something during a hard time, or you've gone and smoked a shitload of weed or something during this phase, or
I get you.
And there's areas that you I could have been better, but better for me is kind of not even. It's probably maybe not that healthy, but this is what we do. It's almost the standard I'd hold myself to is not thinking about anything else ever.
But
I just almost don't want to.
Anything that we're going to pursue to an extreme and to be the best in the world across any venture, you need that. Yeah. And I suppose at least you have that ability.
But yeah, for sure, with in regards to prepping, it's the condition's gifted to me, to a certain extent, and I've not achieved the condition I could, because I haven't dieted enough times to really
your body
refine
hasn't
it.
got that.
You get a bit better every time with it. The more muscle you got, the more times you've had it down there. And, I'm yet to do that. So from that side, but in terms of investing 13 odd years into building muscle, and obviously having time off, so I'm a little bit behind for that timeline. I wouldn't say it's a. I can understand how. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. No, I think actually, now you've spoken a little bit more about it. It comes down to actually people's expectations of being on, because when. I think because you do have, like you said, you don't really miss food, you don't miss numbers. I've seen the intensity training. Actually, when you're talking about not doing yourself proud or being the best version of yourself, what you were doing in that state is still a fuck ton better than what a lot of people would deem
potentially. But
definitely, because I see it all the time.
That's not who, and I know you don't mean this, but. That's part of what really gets under my skin about myself,
right?
Because that's what that prep was. It was do you want it to be I want to see how good can you be,
right?
You know what I mean? Not oh, I managed to.
Yeah, not what can you get away with,
and this guy is locked in this much, and I'm locked in 80%. Well, I want to be locked in 100%, but maybe that's to a detriment at times as well. And you got to take a little bit of time away.
I suppose until you do it.
But in terms of a prep, it's definitely not.
Yeah, without a doubt. They're the times when it's all in. No, mate. Honestly, it's really interesting to kind of talk about, because you're so early on in your pro journey, and it really sounds like you know, there's an amazing, like the potential there. I mean, to get, like you said, the pro card potentially, you know, with a short prep at the best of times. You know, it's exciting to kind of to find out, and I really hope that you do, and I look forward to seeing it when you lock in for that pro debut prep whenever you feel that that time is right.
For me, I'm in it now.
Yeah.
And
that's how
that was what the last one was like as well. But it is like, all right, mate, you've slipped here a little bit. You're smoking weed here, and you're eating this food that really isn't good for your digestion, and you maybe blowing out your stomach more than you'd like. You need to tighten this up and really think about like what do you fucking want out of this?
So again,
you're just going to waste your time.
Your standard, it's just leveling up.
Yeah,
ticking off the slightly finer points as you go, mate. That's what it's about. That's what it's about, and you know, I'm excited to see. So we're going to wrap this up with one final question I ask all my guests.
Yeah.
And that is, and this can be referred to in life. This can be as spiritual, holistic, hippie as you like, or bodybuilding. But what does success mean to you?
Just liking who you are.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I think if just not being fed up with like who you are. Like if it makes me think of I can't remember where I heard it. A quote: if a man's right, his world will be right.
Okay.
So basically, when I'm a dick, I'm not very happy with myself and how I'm acting, and I don't really like myself that much, and maybe my thoughts are really shit. And, but as long as I'm happy with who I am and how I'm acting, and I'm backing my words up with my actions, and I'm calling myself out. It's not about being perfect, but it's like fucking strive for it in this anyway. If your goals are to be the best, you should be fucking striving for that. And I could, like I said, I could easily sit here and go, yeah, I nailed everything. I'd be doing myself a disservice there. And as long as it's always going to change.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, I love that answer because I've not had it, and it's so fucking simple. And I think if a lot of people focused on that, just liking yourself, people would be a lot happier. And almost as a byproduct of that, like a happy person is much more likely to be a successful person. And that's, you know, it's almost like a kind of a circle there, like a positive circle. But also, more so than that, like all through this interview, there has been an overriding tone of not self-loathing, that's a bit extreme, but like you've mentioned so many times frequently, like that you haven't been happy with who you are at various points.
You gotta pull yourself out of shit.
Yeah, and like there have been things that you wanted to work on and you've not liked the person you were, you've not liked the way you're acting. So then to have that as your metric of success, I think is extremely applicable for a start. And I think everything else will definitely align if you just keep working on that.
It keeps it simple. I've actually got it on a t-shirt. This is, I like to put shit down on a t-shirt. I made this in that prep in 2014.
Right.
Before I started, I was a cunt after this as well. It's just something to learn from. If you can't acknowledge that shit, you're not going to get better. And I wouldn't want other people to accept me for less than I could be. So if I don't want to accept myself for less than I could be, that sounds like something I'm going to regret. And the regret should guide you, really. But this kind of sums. I like to keep it simple, as much as this is sounds maybe a little bit deep and overthought. But it's clear intention times efficient action equals inevitable progress. So as long as I'm clear on what the fuck I want, what I want to do, who I want to be, how I want to act, then I know what efficient actions I need to take. and then everything's going to take care of itself. It's inevitable that progress is going to be made.
No, I agree.
Just the same as with lifting in here. If I nail my sleep, my hydration, my stress management, everything else, then those lifts should progress. If they don't, then there's just something I need to adjust.
Something wrong, or you haven't nailed everything.
Yeah.
No, that's great. And like for me, like that's what bodybuilding is. It is very simple. It is putting your all into something. Bodybuilding, in our case, and when you give something your all, progress will happen. Now, what level you'll achieve within bodybuilding is going to be very individually dependent, but it'll happen. So, obviously your effort and your intent has led you this far.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see where the future goes, mate.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Nice.
But yeah, the success thing is just to wrap that up. It is always going to change, and I think if you're married to it too much, it's going to fuck you up. Like the success for me in that round business was, I'm having an impact here. Like it was respected in the skating community in the UK. That company was doing really well. It was doing some cool things, and I was really proud of that. And I was really excited. People, when I say proud, if you asked me, like, are you proud of what you did at the time, it would have been like, no, not really. Like I can do better. But if I was so fixed on what success meant to me in that moment, and I didn't flow, Alan Watts says something like, I can't quote it, I'll butcher it, but basically like trying to swim upstream rather than just flow with things. So just flowing with that and allowing the definition of success to change the same way I would go, how did that set feel? Do I need to go higher reps today, lower reps? How's my digestion feel? Should I push food today? Should I do this? Like success for me will keep changing. Right now it's, can I do better and feel fulfilled in myself? In a few years when I'm done with this,
of course, I know
I'll want to chill a bit more.
Like my metrics have certainly changed. I get that. And
But if you were still tied to like this lift must progress and body weight must go up, and like you'd be pretty fucking miserable now because it's time to pivot and go with a different direction and flow with that. So,
no, mate, honestly, thank you so much. That was really insightful. Like I said before this, I didn't know a whole lot about you. I know a lot more now. Got a hell of a lot of respect for just your honesty, your appreciation that you want to get better, you can be better, and you are getting better. And also just hearing kind of the things you've achieved already in and outside of the gym. So honestly, buddy, thank you so much.
That's been good.
Wish you all the best for the future.
And
maybe in a year or two we'll sit down again. And
for sure. If you're local, so if you ever want to come train,
appreciate that. Can see what your definition of success is then and how it's changed. But no, that was awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Cheers, mate.
Legend. Perfect.
That was fun. Sorry if I waffled a bit.
Mate, no, it's cool. Like I said, Sam we'll put all this out in one anyway for an interview. And then Sam will like cut bits into the to the session. So
sick.
It'll work out really well.
Nice. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Cool. All done. I just need to do my outro, but I'll do that on my own because I hate people being around.
Yeah,